podcast is being brought to you by the Defy Life Podcast Network.
Welcome to the Long and Short of It podcast, where former NFL players tell their stories from high school to college to the NFL to now. You hear it all. I'm your host, J.R. Glymph. In this first episode of 2019, I'm joined by a 15-year NFL vet and future Pro Football Hall of Famer, a man who racked up 133 and a half sacks in his NFL career, good for 12th all time. He is an inductee of the South Carolina Football Hall of Fame and my former freshman classmate at the University of South Carolina, the Predator himself, John Abraham. John, how's it going, sir?
What's going on, no Nick?
What's good with you, man?
Same old thing, man. Just enjoying life, man. You know, tired, would never retired. You know what I mean?
Hey,
still got
right.
family to take care of, stuff to do, man. Always keep me moving, you know.
Absolutely, man. Well, first off, it's an honor, man. Thanks for joining me. It's good to hear your voice, first of all.
Already.
No doubt. Well, let's get right into it, man. We're gonna start from little John Abraham, way back in Lamar, South Carolina, in the Timminsville area. So first thing, so you, what was it like like football in general? I know in the South, football is like a religion, but where you grew up in particular, I know primarily you were a track athlete and a basketball player. What was it that made you make the switch to football?
You know, football always been in. I mean, being from the South, you know, being where you from, you know, with the growing up with Cecil and all the other cats, you know, everybody wants to play football, and football is more of I guess a thing for everybody where I'm from. It's more of a status thing. When on the football team, you really wasn't nobody. Not in a bad way, which, you know, I ran track and basketball, which I wouldn't say I was exceptional, but I was pretty good at basketball and track. But everybody knew you could play football. You know, it was always the whole week football. Football was pretty much year-round for us, regardless of what was going on. But I didn't play. I played up until my 8th grade year. I played Little League, started at guard, played a little DN when I was a kid, D-tackle and stuff like that. You know, within taller you get, the more stuff in. And I think in 8th grade I played football organized, probably for the first real time. You know, I had a real coach and had to go out and do stuff like that, not Little League.
Right.
But, you know, it was just fun mostly, though. I played receiver, a little quarterback, and I also played DN also. I was a tall kid. I was about 6'1", 6'2" at the time. Maybe I might have been 6'3". You know, we didn't really care. I knew I just taught everybody. You know, in 8th grade and stuff like that. And I was a pretty good receiver, you know. I was a pretty good quarterback also. But, you know, I always knew defense was probably going to be what I was going to be probably excel at just because of, you know, my size and how quick I was compared to the kids were at our age limit at the time. But I actually hurt my ankle on the pickup game playing football, and my mom had to come out and tell me, like, don't play football no more. And because she was like, she didn't like the sport. She thought it was a waste of time, and then I got hurt. You know, I always tell her I wouldn't get hurt and da-da-da, and I got hurt my 8th grade year, and she had to leave work because my mom was the kitchen lady at the time.
All right.
So, you know, she couldn't really leave her, like, status because she was, like, the head kitchen lady at the time. I think she was in elementary school at the time, and then she ended up finishing, you know, all the way up in the senior year and running the whole pretty much cafeteria area. So it was mostly that's the reason why I stopped playing. But my senior year, I actually did it because my girlfriend at the time, LaQuanta Goodman, she had more accolades in the senior book, and I just wanted to get something else to put in the senior book. And I wasn't planning on, I literally wasn't planning on playing football for a career or a living. I thought I was going to get something, you know, probably be average, and, you know, because I didn't play with, like you said, that 1 year in high school, so I wasn't really planning on getting, like, the stuff I got. I mean, I knew I would have been okay because I knew the people around me, and I grew up around them, and, like, literally my coach, Boyd, from freshman year all to pretty much my senior year. I think my senior year he gave up on me, and I came out and I said, "Yeah, I'm gonna play," and he was just like, "Yeah, right." And I think he saw it like maybe I was joking, but I came out and you know, I ended up playing. I ended up playing pretty good. You know, having a pretty good career for 1 year.
Yeah. So you well, first off, you ain't got to be modest, man. You say you was pretty good in track. You know, you had 22 in the 22 second in the 200 and 11.6 in the 100s. Yeah, you was moving, man.
That's all right. You know, I think if you know, we had more home track meets, and also we had a lot of the a lot of stuff that people had, like, not saying we had bad coaches, but we had a lot of coaches that were football coaches. So you pretty much ran track and basketball to get ready for football.
True.
So, I really didn't focus on it like I was supposed to. I didn't train like I was, pretty much just being fast. Only thing I knew I wanted to be faster than the person beside me.
Right.
And when I put it in my head and track, it pretty much worked, So, we had no track field at the time, so we really didn't have any home track meets.
Right.
So everything pretty much was, you always got that home cooking. If I had that home cooking, I might have could have got a 10 something. You never know.
Damn right. Right.
You know what I mean? But it's a good situation. I'm glad. Maybe if I would have played my freshman and sophomore year, I might have lost the love for the game. So I think it came later. But I know a lot of times people make their kids play, and they kind of lose the love after they shoot their wide when they're earlier. Mm-hmm. I think since I played at a later age, I have more responsibility in trying to keep playing, especially when you get a scholarship. Because I know you came in like a walk-on, but you still felt good playing, and we had good times just in the locker room, and also just period blank just in after practice and just sitting there, we just being in Cecil room, just joking around, just BSing and having a good time. And everybody asked me what I missed about football. Most of it, pretty much that. Yeah. Camaraderie we had, getting it, and football actually taught me a lot how to talk, because you guys anybody, I didn't go out, I didn't really do a lot. I mean, I talked to y'all, but I wasn't really a person that could socialize with people a lot. But I think football got my social skills out, because I was a bit of an introvert when I first got to school. Mm-hmm. I knew certain people when I talked to, but the older I got, the more I opened up to talk, and it helped me develop as a person and also as an individual and a man.
Right, absolutely, and I think that was good for all of us. That little, that little group that we had when we first got there. I think it was good for all of us to kind of make that transition.
Most of us are small town people.
Right.
Yeah, most of the thing about, you got to talk about Booth from Waycross, Georgia. You got Troy Hamrick, that's from Lacucci, Florida.
Right.
You from Barry. Right. And you might have been a little closer home than I was, but it still was like we had a lot of small town cats, and but we had a lot of people from out of state. So for us, it was more like a pride thing.
Right.
For them, that was in college. For us, it was more like we gotta go home, because we were from South Carolina. And I think the University of South Carolina is doing a better job now recruiting in state. That's why you tend to have more success, even from basketball going all the way down to football, baseball, keeping a lot of cats that are from the state in the state. And I think that was one of our big things that kind of we faltered with when we were there, because you saw we had like Sean Ells, we had Walker, we had this in our class, we had we was lucky to get Jamel Kelly, who was Mr. Football from South Carolina, and Donovan Norman, who was also from South Carolina. But I think we had a lot of cats that didn't understand how thick that the South Carolina heritage is, period blank. But I think we helped them kind of bring now, because you see a lot of cats now, they still represent South Carolina. They might be from Florida, Georgia, or Jersey, or wherever they're from when they came our team. But everybody, they appreciate the South Carolina thing that we had. We didn't have the greatest coaches at the time. We didn't have the greatest, weight room or the greatest academic center at the time. But now, if you go right to the campus, it actually has grown. And I think a lot of people don't understand it started way before then, because we were the down year. But we actually helped the bridge stay up. I mean, even though we didn't win a lot of games, we still helped the bridge stay up, because you think about what we had: Ray Green, Toro Freeman, me, Henry Taylor, a few guys that went to the league just out of my class. And in that class that year we got drafted, we had a lot of we had Kevin House come out the next year. We had Sheldon Brown come out. We had a lot of people that made it to the NFL and actually were productive in the NFL and did good for their career. And if I'm missing anybody, which I know I am, because we had a lot of people that at least got the opportunity to see the NFL and see maybe it wasn't for them, and they got to move on to other things. But so you can say that, football wasn't for you after a couple of weeks. You're like, I'm going to go do something else. And not in a bad way. It was just like, your time's up, and sometimes that's what you need. A little push in a good direction.
No doubt. So you mentioned, being from a small town. So what was the recruiting process like for you? Like, when did you realize during your senior year in high school that teams were actually looking at you? And what led you to end up at South Carolina?
I really didn't know until about the 5th or 6th or 7th game, because I came out late, so a lot of people ain't had tape on me, and nobody really knew who I was. Actually, they sent a tape. My coach sent a tape into our quarterback, Darryl Pauly, who played all 4 years, pretty much for Coach. and he sent a tape into them. They end up seeing me on the tape, and that's kind of how I got endeavored to like maybe football need to be the career I got to play, or maybe it'll take me because I had scholarships for basketball, but not really for track. Track wasn't really something that people focus on in the South. You know, it was more of like, basketball really wasn't either. It was more of, football, and I ended up playing football. And I guess the day I knew that I was going to college for football and I was legitimately going to football, and I think the reason why I chose South Carolina, it was two reasons, but I think the main reason was the first person that recruited me was Brad Scott, and he came to the school, and then like I'm eating food and everything. I was getting a lot of stuff from schools and everything, and everybody started getting hyped about it. But when everybody knew when we was playing, and I was just literally at kitchen table. I'm not the kitchen table. I'm sorry. I'm in the cafeteria, and the boys separated from the girls back in the day. It was our senior year, so we thought we were going to school and stuff. Brad Scott came, and I think him and Brad Lauren came, and they came to visit me at lunch, and they took me from lunch, and everybody was like, and a lot of people that knew football, they knew who Brad Scott was. I had no clue who the guy was. I'm in there saying, oh my God, Brad Scott here, and everybody was getting, excited and everything. For me, it was just like, okay, let me meet this guy, because I was talking to mostly basketball people from small schools coming in, and I got that, and it was just like, I think that kind of turned my head to go there. Then, Clemson started gathering in, and, that pretty much like led me to go there. But I think the big factor was just my mom telling me she wanted me to go to South Carolina to stay close to home, and I'm glad she did. If I'd went to Clemson, Clemson was going through a lot of the transition from Tommy West, so they had a lot of athletes getting in trouble and stuff like that. So I think it was a good call by my mom, I guess you could say.
Yeah, no doubt. So you mentioned, like you mentioned our little group, me, you, Cecil, Boo, Overstreet, like all of us. So did any of the upperclassmen kind of take you under their wing, kind of lead you the way, and you would have like one of the few in that freshman class to actually get a lot of reps our freshman year. So did any of the upperclassmen take you under their wing, kind of lead you through that transition?
I can say yes and no, because we had so much competition back in the day. It wasn't like underclassmen were underclassmen. Like Maynard Caldwell, he taught me a lot. Sly taught me a lot. But as in taking under the wing, it was y'all. It was my classmates mostly. It was most of the people I came in with. I had so much push from Troy. I had so much push from like people that played like Boo. I had so much push from y'all that. Not saying I wanted to be great at the time, but I just wanted when I got a chance to play, I wanted to play. Because, a lot of people say I probably should have started that year, but also I think it showed my mind that next year when I get ready to start, I can start. Because a lot of times they have them starting as freshmen, they think they made it, and, this. And I'm glad I didn't start my freshman year. I played a lot. I got to play special teams, so I got to really learn football all together. So I think that nobody really grabbed me under their wing. I think the whole team, like pretty much, like I had offense players hang with like Kerry Hood, like Jacob Bush. I had like more than just like one person. And our class, we came in with an attitude. Yeah. Our class, we came in like we was gonna like run the team, and that's how you supposed to do, but not supposed to do. But our class, we had so many, I guess, different mentalities, so many different personalities, but all of us coincided. I keep telling everybody that. If you saw us at one point, you think our team would have fell apart. But we always was together, even though our record don't show how good we probably were. So I think a lot they're doing, a defensive scheme and offensive scheme. And I'm not knocking the coaches, but, they had their way of how they wanted to play. But they had the players that probably would have been better in a different type of defense or offense.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah. And, I remember you saying something freshman year that always stuck with me. And I remember we were in freshman camp before any of the upperclassmen got there, and I remember you saying, I want to play my freshman year. I don't want to be here in my junior year and have a red shirt in front of my name. So that thing.
I don't even remember that.
Yeah, I remember you saying that. And
I believe you, though. I believe you, but I do not remember saying that. That's funny.
Yeah, so I remember you saying you wanted to play your freshman year. You didn't want to be a red shirt. And then I remember when the upperclassmen got there, it was like our first night practice, and I think you might have beat Speedy for a sack, Randy Williams.
Yeah, Randy.
Right. And I remember somebody saying, yeah, that dude going to play on Sundays. But I just remember you being motivated from the minute you got there, like you said, to make your own like stamp on that program, and you refused not to play your freshman year. And that was huge. I think it kind of led the whole freshman class into not sitting back and waiting for everybody else to do it. It's just step up and do it. So that was huge. That always stuck with me.
Yeah, that's funny. I don't even remember doing that because once I started playing, I started getting mad. I'm like, I'm playing now, but y'all was having fun, like just chilling. I said, man, I should have redshirted.
Right.
Because y'all used to come like after every game, y'all used to be like, man, we had a good day later. And I'm like, man, I should have redshirted. I didn't know it was gonna be like this. You know what I'm saying? But it was cool though. Me and Matt Marshall ended up, playing and we played good for freshmen. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
We played We kind of brought we helped the class out, and I appreciate you saying that because a lot of things I don't remember. Yeah, but I'm still glad that I had the opportunity.
All right, yeah, absolutely. So you stayed 4 years in South Carolina. After a standout career, you finished with 23.5 sacks at the school. At the time you left, you were second all time. But as you were preparing for the NFL draft, it was the 2000 NFL draft. Did you have an idea of where you'd be drafted, or which teams were interested in you the most?
I was actually hoping I didn't get drafted as high because I felt like I saw a lot of people got to choose the teams they wanted to go to. So I was hoping that I got the opportunity to choose a team. Because I ended up going to. Hold on, give me a second.
Yeah.
I ended up going to not the place I really wanted to go to.
Mm-hmm.
Like I ended up going to New York. So I always wanted to stay close to home. I was hoping Carolina or somewhere close. But I think everything happened for a reason. Cause I ended up going to Atlanta after all that. Mm-hmm. But the draft, I knew I was going to get drafted. Because I could have left my junior year because I had a lot of speculations of going my junior year. But I knew I needed the more mental part of the game. Right. So I'm glad I stayed, and I ended up getting blessed to have Lou Holtz. And a lot of people can't say they got coached by Lou Holtz. Lou Holtz is a living legend, and he's still legendary. So I'm glad I got a chance. And he ended up moving me to linebacker. So they show people that he can do more than just put his hand in the dirt. So I think they helped me out in my career, and also showed me that he's not as as y'all saying, they used to call me a tweener. Mm-hmm. And like people always say I couldn't play the run, I couldn't do this. Back in the day, they used to have 2 or 3 people on you. Now they kind of like you more one-on-one. You don't see as much dirty plays as we had back in the day. So I think they help people show that, he actually is a versatile guy. He's not just a guy that just try to get sacks. And, so I appreciate all that.
Okay. So you, like you say, you drafted by the Jets, 13th overall. That's a long way from being able to choose your team. You first round, you're going where they select you. But what were your first impressions of the Jets organization and as New York as a whole? Had you been to New York before you got drafted?
No, I've never been to New York. I think the first I've been was Charlotte.
Gotcha. So what were your impressions of the city and of the organization?
No, I just met him, though. I just seen him, though. I'll call you when I'm ready to go. Thanks, man. Yeah, but my thing was, it was like New York. Only New York I really knew about. I knew about the Jets, but I didn't know anything about them. I knew about everybody knew about the Giants because they got more of the hoopla. You know what I mean? So it took me a while to start saying Jets instead of Giants because actually when I got called, I knew I was going to Jets, but I knew nothing about it. Sean got drafted first, and I got Sean. And I was lucky to I also be drafted with Sean Ellis, from Tennessee. Mm-hmm. Actually, a Carolina guy, so that's even better, And we used to watch each other in high school and in college and all that stuff. So being with somebody that you knew, and also being blessed to be with Lavernius Coles too, another Southern guy, from a small type, from Duval. True. So all that was a blessing. But New York. Playing for them as a team kind of hurt because I think that I think my coach at the time didn't give me the full range that I could have played. Mm-hmm. I think in New York I could have played a lot more positions because I went from outside linebacker to back to defensive end, and I was like, oh Lord. So it was kind of easy. Then they just started running the ball at me, but I still had success doing that. So I think that gives credibility, hopefully, just because me being a defensive end and being versatile because I was ready to play outside linebacker for the rest of my career, which I always wanted to play. Looking at people like Lawrence Taylor and stuff like that, it always was in my mind to do that. But then I ended up getting drafted, like I said, and I was outside. I only got to play outside linebacker 2 years out of my career. 2 years out of my 15, that was my last year. And I think everybody said the year I had 16.5 sacks was my best year. Well, stats-wise, maybe, but I think my best year was my last year in the league when I had 11.5. But I played outside. I got to cover, and I got to do things like that I wanted to do.
All right. Yeah. All right. So, like you mentioned, so you got to play with the Jets, got to experience free agency, after your first contract was up. If I'm not mistaken, the Jets named you their franchise player. You didn't come to terms with them, and so you mentioned that's how you ended up in Atlanta. What made you settle on the Falcons? I know it was closer to home. That was part of it. But what was it about that franchise? That was a special time in the Falcons franchise when they were kind of burgeoning as a major market, and Arthur Blank, and kind of changed the culture there. What led you to sign with Atlanta?
Personally, when I played against them the year before, I got the experience just being in the dome, playing against Mike Vick and playing against the energy that the Falcons had.
Right.
So for me, it was just like when I came in, I was like, Lord, I say if I get a chance to play for them, I would love to be here. And I found out how close it was to home, and like I had almost half my family and a lot of people at the game in Atlanta compared to New York. Right. New York and the West Coast, because I was actually going to go to Seattle. They pretty much had me, but they was trying to figure out me or Steve Hutchinson. So they was back and forth, and they kind of had me in the room trying to wait. Like, if we can get him, we can get John also. And I was like, cool. And I'm trying to wait to see. But then I just told him I got tired of waiting because I was in there for like hours. It wasn't like a couple hours. We was in there like sitting an hour waiting to see if Hutchinson was going to sign back with them or go to Minnesota.
Right.
And we told him we had to take a bathroom break, and we just got in the car and left. And on the way leaving, because I had, I think Oakland was looking at me at the time, and San Fran, and maybe one more team. I can't think of the team right now, but we was in the car, and my agent, Rich Rosa, he was just like, John, Atlanta just called and said they interested you. I said, make it done. He said, well, John, there's going to be $2 million left. I said, look, make it happen. I don't care about how much I get paid right now. I just want to be comfortable. I want to be in a team I think that can really take my personality. I don't think Woody Allen, not Woody, I'm sorry. I don't think Woody Johnson and Herm Edwards could deal with my kind of personality. Being a homebound guy, I like to hang out with people, and ain't got nothing to do with football. It's just like during the week, I like to chill. I like to chill, be around people, and I like to get to know people. So I think they saw it as in, this is your job. You got to take this seriously. And I got lied to a lot while I was there also. So I met Jim Moore, and then I met Arthur Blank, and it sealed the deal for me. Like, it wasn't because I was going around visiting a lot of teams. I went from the Redskins to other teams. I was traveling. It's about like that's my first real recruitment, because in high school I didn't really get to recruit like people did. A lot of people did their recruitment during the junior year or during football season. I had to wait like during Christmas, so I only took like two trips. I didn't visit anybody. I visited Clemson and I visited South Carolina.
Gotcha.
And they was probably the bornest recruiting trips you probably ever heard of. Like they were hard. But everybody was out there. There wasn't nobody on campus because it was Christmas time, so nobody was there. But I actually got to be a real recruit. I mean, I went everywhere I went. They had my jersey in the thing. They had my list there, so it felt good just to be appreciated. Even though I felt like I wasn't appreciated when I was with the Jets. But I can't say anything really bad per se about them. I can just say like my mentality and how I felt while I was there. I just felt very uncomfortable because I looked at myself in my pictures. I was never smiling while I was there. I was like, wow. Like I seen a lot of pictures of me, like even on the field or off the field. I never really smiled a lot, but it was cool though, But Atlanta, when I met Arthur Blank and Jim Moore, I knew that's where I wanted. I mean, I knew they kind of understood, like, you're a young guy, you want to live life, you're gonna make mistakes. Right. And Jim Moore, I guess, being around his dad and Arthur Blank just coming from New York and working for what he got, they kind of showed him like, yeah, John, you're gonna have to relax sometime. And Atlanta's the perfect place to do it for you. Because when I got here for the media, I'm thinking it's gonna be like New York. Everybody asked me crazy. They were just happy to have me there. So for me, it solidified it there. Like after I visited them, I was like, I don't care who else I ask, I'm not going anywhere else. I told him, I said, no, I'm going to Atlanta. Yeah, I don't care what the contract say, but they ain't going to give you this much guarantee. I said, look, I don't care what they said. We so-and-so getting this. I said, I don't care what they getting. Just going to get me here. And I'm glad it was one of the best decisions of my life that I made, decision that I made. Like going to school kind of wasn't my decision because I got recruited by certain people, so I didn't know a lot of stuff. But and even like like free agency is not your decision sometimes, So for me, that part of the biggest decision I made as a grown up, like as a grown man, like knowing what I wanted. That's probably one of the biggest decisions I ever made, and I'm happy with the decision. I love Atlanta to death. Am I super happy how the Falcons did me? Not really. But as Atlanta, like I don't hate the Falcons. But if you ask somebody like legitimately what their problem is, I tell them, and then everybody says, "Oh, you just hate the Falcons." I say, I have no problem with the Falcons. The organization, some of the like I think they drafted the guard in the first round this year, which I really didn't understand. Now the guard is going through the heart things now.
Right.
It's the guy they just drafted. Now now y'all know he had 2 heart things already, but y'all drafted him in the first round. Like he had heart surgery before, and that because I know they made a big deal out of Sweat. The D lineman. I think Texas A&M. Mississippi State. Yeah. I know the colors. Yeah, I know the colors.
Right.
Yeah, but they made a big deal. Yeah, they made a big deal about how he just this, but this guy already had 2 surgeries on his heart.
Yeah.
And missing games before, and now y'all just, I mean, this is the 3rd surgery on his cardiac thing. I think it's about time that he might have to call it quits after a year or 2.
All right.
I don't wish nothing bad on, but y'all should do y'all research because, and that just seemed like a bad thing. I know a lot of the Falcons fans, and I'm not knocking anybody. It's their team and it's what they want. Right. But it seemed like they would have saw like, well, man, this might not be the best thing for us to do, seeing that a guard that high. When you had like other receivers, or actually you need a little more help on D-line, and Clemson had a lot of D-linemen that was out there, and they had some other people. Maybe they could have helped your boy out Beasley. So some of the decisions is made that it's kind of like you can't really call it anyway. But hopefully they have a good year this year. Everybody stay healthy. Hopefully they sign Julio. I know I just seen the one receiver from New Orleans just got this big deal. So, and I'm not saying Julio should feel like he want that kind of money or anything like because he just want to be a Falcon, but you seeing they paying guys that hasn't. I'm not saying the guy Thomas ain't gonna be good, but I mean he ain't touching Julio right now when it comes to stuff Julio has done.
Right.
You know what I mean? So for Julio, I can see, and this might be Julio's last contract or maybe the next one. So for him, they don't like that. I don't know. I can never understand why they don't want to pay people. Mm-hmm. If you feel like it's okay to pay this tackle and you paying your quarterback so much money, but Julio has been a strong stone in that offense, like one of the guys that you need there. So, but I don't know what's going on in there. They might have fell out. You never know what's exactly going on, so you can't say right, wrong, and different, though,
Yeah, absolutely. So you mentioned, your time in Atlanta and, how things went down when you left. So, again, after the 2012 season, so what was it like, after in 2013, going to Arizona after you still had a lot left in the tank? I guess the Falcons thought otherwise, but you went to Arizona, like you said, for that last season, or the last full season. The Falcons decided to release you, but you went out to the Cardinals and put up 11.5 sacks. And like you mentioned, you were doing more than just rushing the quarterback. What was that season like? Was it a sense of like redemption to show you still had something left? How was that season in Arizona?
It was tough. It was probably one of the toughest seasons I had since my freshman year in college. Because I didn't start till like the 4th or 5th game. I think I was playing New Orleans, and everybody got hurt, and I had to come in the game, so I had to get my mentality back up. I was depressed a lot. I was going out doing stuff that I probably wouldn't have did if I was playing. I was just doing a lot of things just to get my mind off. A lot of times I used to take drinking as in the cause of my depression. Like when I was depressed, instead of like going to bed, I said, well, if they don't give me $3 million to sit on the bench, fine. You know what I mean? And I knew I could give more because I actually went in there, and I think the one game I only had 13 plays. I was like, y'all just tell me on 3rd down to get in the game, but I have to get in the flow of the game. Y'all put me in on 1 down and telling me to like make something happen, or maybe like in the end of the game with like 2 minutes left and just pass rush. And I said I have a lot more to offer, and I think the reason is because I played like in most of the time when I was with the Falcons, and I didn't really drop a lot. I didn't do a lot of things that I knew I could do. So for me, it was like it was a lot of depression at first. But when I started playing and when my coaches started coming to me and started like asking me like certain schemes you think to help them out and stuff like that, which I had the knowledge, but I think a lot of times they didn't really ask for it. It was kind of like, coaches are just like people too. They have like, we want you to do this, but then when they see you can do more, And, you know, for me, it was kind of tough, like being in my 14th year in the league, and I still had to prove myself. It was kind of tough at first, but once I got down and Bruce started believing in me and my coach started believing in me and everybody still started believing in me, it felt better.
Yeah. Well, I would agree with you that that's one of your best seasons, man. You know, you, again, like you mentioned, you know, I think a lot of people, you know, the NFL, it's a young man's game, and once you hit that 30 mark, people think it's all downhill from there. And you know, it's for you to me to prove that you had a lot left in the tank, and then come back that next year expecting even bigger things. But you suffered a concussion that first game. How big was that decision for you to step away? They put you on IR for the rest of the season. At what point did you come to that decision to retire, and how tough a decision was that?
It wasn't tough when I had the MRI and they said I was bleeding on both sides of my brain, and they said if I get hit in the head again, I might die. I mean, the decision just kind of was made for me. Yeah. It wasn't my decision. You know, it was God's decision. And like I said, even me getting hurt that first game back, you know, going through the transition of the off season and stuff I had to deal with in the off season. Like, but even when I came back, you know, I kind of knew like that year felt bad, and then for that to happen, I was just like, okay. And I don't take anything for granted because, like I said, before I was just really stressed about it. Like, dang, I know I could have been in the top 5. I was 8 sacks away from being in the top 5. You know, passing Michael Strahan was one of my idols back in the day, and I was like. But then it took me a while. It took me a while to, like, just pretty much get back into the scheme of things. Like, dude, you had I still think I had an all right career. You know, people think I had a great career, but, you know, me, like, missing so many games. I think I played 192 games. So that's the equivalent of 12 seasons. You know, 16 games, 160 plus the 16, 16, that's 32. That's 192. So I'm like, I only really played 12 years. So I got 15 years, but I only played like 12. Think about it, the games played. So for me personally, I think I played 15 years, but me, like, and everybody kept saying I kept getting hurt. But if you understand how I played and what I was playing through, like, I didn't want to take a day off. Like, maybe if I would have took a game off here and healed back, I wouldn't have got hurt the next game. But, you know, football was played differently then. You know, they didn't really hold you back from concussions. They didn't hold you back from certain things. And if you could play, they let you play. We had a lot more, medical things that they used to let you get away with that they don't now. Yeah. You know, I used to shoot up almost every game at 1 year. Like, I used to shoot up almost every game just to play. And now they're taking people's health a lot more, I guess, into fruition, as in, you know, you got Tom, you got Breeze, you got a lot of, even Pep played up to like more years. But if we had the same training camp and the same off season, I don't know if they would still be playing. Yeah. And just being honest. And you see a lot of the older guys are playing better than a lot of the younger guys. You see a lot of guys are playing a lot longer and they having more productive years and seasons because the off season is shorter. The training camps are amazing. Like my last year. In training camp, I was like, this is all we got to do. And, you know, we used to have these 4 hours, 5 hours being out there and stuff like that. So for me, like, I can see, like, I guess, you know, even when I came in the league, a lot of the older players were like, y'all tripping. This price ain't nothing right here compared to what they had to do. So I think every year it's getting easier and it's getting better for the individuals so they can, I guess, build a market for themselves. And I think they're doing a lot better just building a market for people. So when they're done with football, they have something to fall back on.
Yeah, absolutely. And, you know, and it's a rarity now to see teams hitting in training camp now. Like, they don't even hit no more. So would you mention players playing longer? What are your thoughts on an 18-game season?
I wouldn't suggest it. Right. I mean, if you take I just feel like 16 enough. I mean, I guess because I played 16, I know how long the weeks are. I guess if you do 18, you got to have 2 bye weeks, I guess.
Right.
And then and you got to shorten training camp. I mean, you take 2 games away. If you take the 2 games away, or if you even add more games, it's going to be a longer football year, but it's going to be better football. It's going to be just more lackadaisical. I mean, I think 16 is good. I would drop it down to 14 myself. It's just because you know, like maybe make the off season a little long. Give them 6 games so you can kind of see the older guys playing the first 2 games, the 4 games to really recruit people, and then 14 games. But you know, we love football though. So, right. But a lot of people like seeing the preseason because they get to see the people play. A lot of guys that didn't get to play in the NFL, right. Yada yada yada, you get to see them play more because it's really only judging from that 3rd and 4th game.
Yeah.
So they don't really have time to really get to see them. So I think it'd be good for people that in the league that want to come in. They can play. Maybe like the first 2 games or the first 2 weeks. Get that to the young guys, so they can come in earlier. We come in early, and like maybe the second and third game for the older guys. Then the third and fourth game put the younger guys back in there for the preseason. Then you have like you can see the people that you pretty much get. And, you know what I mean? They have it'll be a longer off season, but I think it'll be worth it. Like the first 2 weeks, just have the older guys come in and I guess train and stuff, get back in shape. Just give them 2 weeks, and then you start them like maybe play the third or fourth game, and the fifth, sixth game have the other young guys play because you already pretty much know it's going to be in your team.
All right.
And then you play the season. I mean, nobody likes preseason, but the only people who really like preseason are guys that are trying to get on the team and everything. And the preseason is very short.
Right. Yeah, and that's their opportunity to make an impression. So, yeah, I'm with you.
Hello?
Yeah. But yeah, that's
yeah.
So
that'd be big.
All right. So you so first of all, so I want to ask you just some general questions about the game itself. So first of all, where did the nickname the Predator? Who gave you that nickname?
Hello?
Yeah, you hear me?
Hello? Yeah, you breaking up a little bit.
Okay. Can you hear me now?
All right.
Okay.
Yeah, you good.
All right. So yeah. So who first started calling you the Predator?
Chris Hayes. He was number 30. He's from Cali, and I was playing one day in this after I think I had an incredible game or something. I think against Buffalo or something. He said, "Man, your nickname the Predator now." I was like, "You from Cali, so you know how they talk."
Right.
I said, "Why you call me that, man?" I never. Yeah, so it was cool, and it stuck since then. And and I kind of like the name. It was like, the Predator. Okay, what up, Predator? He's always calling me that, and I was like, at first I was like, man, they used to call me Chief or something like that. They didn't call me Predator, but then people call me A's. But I like the name Predator, and it stuck since.
Right. Yeah, it fit. All right. So you obviously were a natural at pass rushing, but describe the art of pass rushing, because of course there are guys who are great athletes, big, strong, fast, but they can't rush the quarterback. Describe the art of pass rushing.
Well, everybody think I was a natural, but I don't feel I was. I feel like I naturally had the ability to do it, but I worked on it a lot. What a lot of people don't understand. Like when I was at home, I worked on my swim moves. I watched a lot of tape on other guys.
Right.
But because a lot of times that's all people want me really to do. Like, but I want to be an all-around player.
Right.
Like they say, well, he can't play the run. He can't. I did my whole career. I said, dude, I watch tape. I said, most of the time you see my tackles was in the 60s and the 70s.
Right.
Stuff like when I came to Atlanta, they knocked my play time down a lot, like maybe 60% of the game. So I didn't really play the run a lot. I didn't have to. But we had other guys that probably could play it better or fit to play it better. But my thing is I worked on it. Like people don't understand how much tape I watch just myself and watch my hands, watch my feet. The older I got, the more I took out of just being like, as they say, a pass rusher. I became a football player. As in, I watched my feet. I learned my hands. I didn't take a lot of false steps anymore. I used to take a lot of false steps. I knew I was fast enough to make up, but a lot of plays I missed by a half a second or a half a tackle or something like that. So the older I got, the more I put it into. If they're gonna give me 60% of the plays, I'm gonna try to make as much as I can in these plays.
Right.
It wasn't all about me getting sacks. But if I know it's a pass, I'm gonna try to get sacks. But my thing was just getting the ball out.
Right.
I know when I got to 100 sacks, I had no clue because I never just watched my stats like that. I just watched my stats per year just to see like where I was in the league. Just watching people, yada yada yada. But I never was a stat guy. Only thing I know, if we won the game, I was happy. I guess coming from South Carolina losing 21 straight games, it showed you that stats don't mean nothing.
Yeah.
But I had legitimate stats, but I still was losing. I just know I didn't want to be a loser no more.
Absolutely. So you mentioned like your evolution into becoming an all-around defensive end, pass rusher, outside linebacker, stopping the run, doing everything. Who were some of the best offensive tackles you went up against in your career who kind of gave you the most fits and were the toughest to figure out?
I honestly say all of them was the best because they was in the NFL.
Right.
I never took anybody for granted. So I can't say who was the best or who wasn't. The only thing I know, I prepared myself to go against anybody. Because you can play against great tackles. I knew like I played against Kevin Mawai. He wasn't a tackle, but in practice he locked me down. He had great feet. He was a short guy, but he had great feet. I mean, I could go from like anybody. Like I really could talk about any tackle and say what was good at for them or what was bad. But I didn't see anything as anybody being like super incredible or me being super incredible. Only thing I knew I had to beat that guy that way. I always try to find a disadvantage and an advantage in any game. So I can't really say anybody was the best I ever played. I mean, I played against great people. Like I said, everybody I pretty much played with in my mind was great. You know, I played against Hall of Fame tackles and I played against Hall of Fame running backs and Hall of Fame guards, but I didn't see it as that. I started, what can I do? I played as a Chechen. I mean, you know what I'm saying? It was like, for me, it was like, and I'm not knocking anybody. Now, I played against great people, so I'm not just saying that just like, oh, you're always this and all that.
Yeah.
You know, I had people that rookies that locked me down sometimes in games. Right. I had people that were all pro that couldn't stop me. So, you know, for me, I can't really pinpoint one. People asking that question, I'm like, I really can't say who was the best because I played against everybody I played with, and my mind was great because they was on the field with me. You know what I mean? I didn't see it as you understand, man. Like, I think the best cap I ever played against personally was probably Randy Will, and that was in college. Yeah. That's simply because he used to give me work every day. And if you know how Randy was, you know, Randy, he was one of those guys. Like Randy came, he bought his lunch bill every day. And so for me, he made me better because if I would have had to play in college against, I guess, not an average tackle like Randy, I mean, just the work habit he had and how he made me better, and then he taught me too. So in practice, he tell me like, hey, that was a good move, but next time you won't do this, and and I used to try to help him out too, even though I was a young cat. I was like, yeah, well, I got you right. I got you off the step. When I kind of saw you looking down, I knew you was going to have a slow step. So, you know, we help you out. So people like that, I think, you know, I played against some great people, but they weren't willing to say, oh, yeah, that was a good pass for us. Right. They'll kind of be like, oh, you won't get it this time. You won't get it this time. I'm the kind of cat, like, even in practice, like when I played against, like, Ojanaka or, like, Sam, like a lot of cats I played against, you know, I used to always try to help them. Like, even when I say, man, next time just don't jump out. So I got you to jump out. So, you know what I mean? If you ever ask any tackle about me, I always try to help them. Even in games, I tell them, I say, next time, bro, you got to, you know, they want me to do it like this. I was like, all right, well, I'll tell you right now, y'all know y'all got 3 stuff next week. He's going to keep. You know, I just like to help you. Yeah, I like to help you out, you know what I mean? Right. And like I said, I see it as a sport, but also it was a game. I try to, cause I ain't had a lot of people like back in the day who would try to help me because they felt like, oh, John got it. Right. You know, and compared to like saying you do this, you can do that. I said, no, I just want to, you can tell me like, well, John, you can try this. And I'll tell them like, well, I don't think that worked for me. But, you know, I was lucky enough to have like people around me and people I played against who actually critique me on my game like I critique them. You know what I mean? I critique people when I tell you like, well, next time keep your foot down. So you got your foot up. I know y'all fast. Right. Try to make your stand like small things like that.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, last question, man, before I let you go. Just want to get caught up with what you're doing these days. So what are you up to now?
Nothing. Living life. Yeah, hey, I'm not worrying about being on TV every day. Just like the most I've been talking, like, you know, I've done a couple of podcasts. I haven't really done a lot of stuff on like TV and stuff like that. I'm just relaxing. I told myself I was going to give myself 5 years after I was completely finished, and next year will be my 5th year, like completely out in the NFL, and maybe I want to try some new stuff now. Like I'm trying to maybe get a podcast. You know, I've been doing real estate since I've been in the league, so you know that's always been fun to me. You know, that's always been something I've prepared for. Thinking about maybe finishing my degrees, you know, because I gave myself 5. So, you know, just small things. There's a lot of stuff that, like I said, I want to do something now since I'm done with football. Not saying I didn't love football, but it was kind of forced on you too. They kind of took the fun out of football when you went to college. You know, know, kind of like when I got to the league, the fun came out. When I got to Atlanta, the love started coming back. Because after my the year I got franchised, Jets, I was preparing not to play football no more. You know, even everybody was saying like, "Dude, you're good." I said, "Look, if I have to deal with all this business stuff with football, I know I'm doing my part, and I still can't get on the team, and the team don't even want me." So I'm kind of like, you know, I was preparing. Like that's when I really started getting in real estate and everything like that, and doing stuff outside of football. So for me now, I'm enjoying my kids. I'm getting to run back into JR Glymph, which we ain't talked in years. Like it's been like years, like literally over a decade. And, I'm on IG all the time. I'm on Facebook now. I'm just having a good time, man. I'm enjoying myself. I'm catching up. I'm catching up with life, if that makes sense. I mean, and I ain't saying it the wrong way. I'm blessed to be 41 right now and not have to work. You know what I mean? And some people want to work every day, and my job is now just be John Abraham. I ain't got to worry about nobody having a camera around me no more, even though it might be some people want to invest in that. So I'm just enjoying life, man. I'm not trying to, I'm doing camps and stuff. I did one with Sam Garnes, but I've done one with Aaron Ross. I've done one with him, and one of my Trevon Matthews. I've done one with him. I did one with Darren Hambrick. And I'm trying to do as much as possible. Anthony Wright was there. I got to run to Kerry Head. I got to run to all my old teams, Rondé Cox. I mean, I got to run to a lot of my old teammates. So that's what I'm doing now. I still do a muscle district. I was blessed to have Derek Jeter ask me to come out there because he's going to be there. And I was blessed to come out to that little event. I'm getting back into that, which I haven't done in a while. Just got off the phone. Like my Facebook is a good, I guess, good link to get to see people that really need help. Not even like this got nothing to do with monetary. So everything I do, I don't ask for checks. I don't ask for nothing like that. So I never was that kind of guy. But just giving my info and giving my insight in life. Not even football, it's about just life, period. A lot of times everybody says, "Oh, John, you should coach good." I say, you know what? We got enough coaches in the world. But do we have enough people that inspire somebody like outside of that? They got the people to teach them football. Do we have people to tell them about, economy, houses, about doing stuff besides football? Because a lot of the kids and a lot of the parents, back in the day, they used to say, football for this, you won't do this. You can go to the league. And we got to school. I already looked. I said, there are 100 people on this team right now. And we're going to have another recruiting class coming in. That's what I knew right then. Like, you got to be at the top of your game if you really want to get better. Because I was just looking like, even at the draft, I keep telling everybody, a lot of my teammates used to say, well, they 31 more teams. I said, but there can be 300 more people coming next year. They can be 300, and they younger, and they got more of the stuff. And they first-round picks, and you're just on the team. So I saw a lot of my teammates get too comfortable, feeling like they might not make it on this team. They might not be happy with the team they was with, but they kind of play, and they kind of like just that lackadaisical thing where I can make it for themselves. So I said, you never know. Even though it might not be happy where you're at, it's where you're at. So just try to make the best out of it. That's what I try to do for my whole career.
Good stuff, man. Well, first off, I'm proud of you. Again, it's been a while, man. It was great talking to you. And if you ever, again, so you want to get into podcasting, if you ever want to, jump on, get something off your chest, you always got a home here at Defy Life, man. We can get you on anytime. So you're always welcome here. And definitely stay in touch, man.
No doubt, man. Appreciate you calling. Appreciate you giving me the outlet for you to talk about my experiences in life.
Absolutely, man. And again, thanks for joining me. Ladies and gentlemen, again, John Abraham here on the Defy Life Podcast Network. The long and short of it. John, take care of yourself. I'll talk to you soon, brother.
All right, Gamecocks.
All right, no doubt. Gamecocks for life.
But when you are a guard and you can pull off 30, there is very little that can be done with you. And that is the case with Stephen Curry. He don't need help. He don't need screens. He can create his own shot off the dribble.
Yeah.
This is Coach English of the Staley and English Show with Coach Kurtz. Me, along with my brothers, Coach Staley and Coach Kurtz, talk everything related to high school, college, and professional sports. It's the first show by coaches, for coaches, parents, and players. New episodes drop each Monday on GoDefyLife.com and everywhere your favorite podcasts are available.
Welcome to the Coach Staley, Coach English Show. Ghoulish gang. Coach put me in the game.